Hello, so my name is Andreas and I'm a PhD student at NTNU. So today I'm going to talk about optimization models and methods for investments in existing hydropower plants. So is this working? Or? And okay, great, thanks. Okay, so some background for my PhD. Many hydropower plants today are old, and they were built during the period 1950 to 1980. And they rely on old technology, which were designed for an old-fashioned operating pattern. So in later years, this has led to an increased focus on maintenance, upgrading, and refurbishment projects. So what I'm doing in my PhD is to see what can be good ways of analyzing the main choices in upgrading and expansion of existing hydropower plants, and see how profitable investment decisions can be. So what I'm going to present now is factors that influence the investment decisions. So the main source of income or revenues for a hydropower plant comes from electricity generation. So basically this means that should you use your water now or store for later production. So if you want to maximize revenues, you typically want to capture high prices, which is uncertain, and you will try to use all of your water and avoid spillage. So you can't wait too long for high prices. Then you would lose water from spillage. A third factor that might influence the hydropower scheduling is the current and future state of your equipment. If the equipment, like turbine or generator, is in poor state, you typically will be more gentle to it. You would start and stop production less frequently. And by doing that, the degradation of your equipment will slow down into the future. So the decisions or the production decisions from a hydropower producer can affect the degradation of the equipment that's used for production. So now, there's a lot of investment alternatives for a hydropower producer. So if we now consider an equipment upgrade, which means that you can replace your turbine with increased capacity or efficiency, and or just to replace it to avoid premature failures. So this problem is also affected by inflow. Typically, when you do an investment, you need to shut down your plant, so you can't produce. So you don't want to do that when there's high inflows or high prices. You want to time the decision, the investment decision, in order to avoid production losses. But if the state of equipment is poor and you want to replace it, then you might be forced to replace it to avoid failures. And then you get new equipment, and then you can start operating as normal again. And in addition, when you do an investment decision and, for example, increase the capacity, then so after the investment, you're then able to produce more at high prices, so it will affect how you operate your plant. So any investment alternative should include the value of changed operations. So this is the parts of the problem that I'm trying to formulate and solve to and analyze under which conditions investments are profitable. So I'm going to end with some common methods for analyzing investments. So a common method is to simulate a system. You simulate operations to get operational profits, and then you consider an investment alternative and calculate the net present value of that investment. So what I'm working on in my PhD is approaches related to dynamic programming and decision making under uncertainty, where you typically can increase the value of an investment by considering the value of weighting and analyze under which price condition in the future you will undertake the investment. So yes, so this was shortly what I'm doing in my PhD. So that was what I had.